If you're looking for strategic and an actionable business advice, then you come to the right place. Each week, we provide you with valuable information that will help you grow your practice profitably. Hi, I'm Debra.
And I'm Sabrina, and welcome to Chiropractic Purpose to Profits. We will be your guides to creating a profitable practice and an abundant lifestyle. Whether you're just starting out or have been in practice for years, we've got something for everyone. So make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you never miss an episode. So on this week's episode, we're going to be talking about owner's compensation. Now, this is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to Profit First. And oftentimes, as a small business owner and a practice owner, is something that is overlooked. And to the detriment of the owner, the practice, the home life, and everybody in between. Owner's compensation is extremely important because without getting paid what you're worth, you're not going to want to continue your practice pretty soon. So, Deb, you had some really good points on this that you were talking about. So can you just fill in our listeners?
Sure. So I think when hear the word owner's comp, I think sometimes we forget we are our best employee. And if we had an employee who we thought was doing an exceptional job, we'd want to keep them. Well, why aren't we trying to keep ourselves? I think sometimes we don't put enough value on what we bring, and we deserve to be paid appropriately. We've worked with so many doctors where we've seen them bring in associates, and when we really dig into their financials, we realize, and they realize, that they actually pay their associate more than they get paid for an hour's worth of service in the office. How does that happen? Because we tend to always not value ourselves the way we should be. And it's really important that we do that going forward. And I think this account makes it such a must-have, because if you put in there a fair salary, because if it's not a fair salary, what do you do if you can't show up at work and you have to hire someone? If you can't pay them enough, somebody with the same skill set you have, what do you do? So now you're eating into your profits. Just have somebody cover for you. So it's so important that you evaluate your practice, honoring yourself. I find that when we started our business, we've talked about in the beginning, we first started, we didn't really charge enough for our service. And then we started to grow. We had to bring in other people, and to attract the talent, we had to pay them more. And we're like, wait a second, we're doing more than they do, yet we're getting paid less. Like, how did that happen? It happens silently. It's almost a silent thing that disrupts your home life. As Sabrina mentioned, it disrupts your home life because you're not bringing home what you should be. You went to school, you did all this, you're serving your community, you're helping. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with the profit word, but you have to have profits to serve your purpose. And then you get to, what do you get compensated? And this account becomes the most important because it'll really put in focus. And you'll ask yourself that hard question. If I had to hire an associate today, what would I pay them? And could they even adjust like I adjust? Most times we find the doctor sees twice as many people as their associates. But when you look at their earnings at the end of the day, it's pretty close. And sometimes they're even underwater. So don't let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think there's become this whole culture of like hustle and sweat equity and this like, oh, well, you'll earn it back in the future. And it's like, well, you know what? One, are you even going to make it to the future? Because if you burn yourself out in the first 3 years of your practice or wherever you are right now, if you're burned out, I can tell you, you're not going to be showing up 100%. You're just not. You're going to resent the practice, you're going to resent your life, and you're not going to enjoy it anymore. So this whole idea that, well, I'll just sweat it out and I'll hustle today and I'll earn it back later, that's never going to be the truth. At some point, there's kind of an opportunity cost. There's only so much time and there's only so many things you can do. And you have to make sure that there's a fine balance between what you're doing and what you're getting paid today, because some things you just can't make up in the future. And if you burn yourself out or you end up resenting your practice, you're never going to earn it back in the future because you're not going to be working there anymore. And like Deb said too, one of the clients we worked with recently, when we really dug into her numbers, we realized that if she went on vacation, her practice would be in super trouble. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, she went on vacation and she came back and she went, oh my gosh, you guys were right. When I went on vacation, my practice's income dropped in half and didn't even cover the amount that I was paying for the staff while I was gone. And it was a come to Jesus moment. And, it's just so eye-opening, and it's something that we share with you because we want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you. And it's so important to value yourself when it comes to earning your revenue, and that you have to make sure that what you're earning and your practice can pay you fairly for the services that you provide so that you can continue providing services. You can't continue to serve your practice if you're homesick on the couch because you work too much, or you're homesick because you don't have the family life that you wanted, or whatever it is. So you have to make
family's
sure.
affected. I mean, how many
Right.
times do we get notes from the spouse, both
Mm-hmm.
female spouse and male spouse, saying thank you because their home life changed? I mean, you deserve this. If we can leave you with any message from today, you deserve this. You're helping everyone else. Be sure to include yourself in that equation.
Right, exactly. You deserve to come first. And I think that's one of the most powerful things that you can learn from Profit First is that you and your practice and your purpose to serve your community and make your community healthier deserves to be paid for that. So if you want to grab a copy of our book, it's available on Amazon, and it'll go over all of the accounts in detail and how you can implement Profit First into your chiropractic practice. And if you haven't subscribed and turned on the notifications, do that now so that you don't miss another great episode. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.